I am Professor Chris Marks, and with my wife's help and others, we founded GUTS in 1983. The aim was to try and find bowel cancer early so that we could treat it and cure it. And if you can catch bowel cancer early, you can cure at least 9 out of 10. Also, if you do that, you can avoid having colostomies and bags and things like that, so you actually keep people having their bowels opened in a normal way.
I'm Ian Jordan. I'm a consultant colorectal surgeon at the Royal Surrey County Hospital. I've been the chairman of the GUTS charity for over a decade now, and I took this position over from Professor Chris Marks. GUTS has been actively involved in raising funds that have been used both for research, education, and supporting the clinical needs of the Royal Surrey County Hospital. Over the past 10 years, we've been involved in a large number of research projects, and particularly focused on studies that have looked at the role of screening for bowel cancer. We've been very fortunate to have the regional hub based here close to the Royal Surrey County Hospital, and we've joined forces with them and supported a number of important national studies looking at the role of the new stick test for colorectal cancer detection.
My name is Nick Farkas. I'm a clinical researcher. I'm currently doing a postgraduate MD with the University of Surrey, and I'm looking at the benefit of multiple fit tests and what that means for both clinicians and patients. So I've been very fortunate to have some fantastic support available to me, and it's made a huge difference both in terms of my supervisors, both here at the Matthew with Prof Rockall and Mr Jordan, at the Bowel Cancer Screening Hub with Sally Benton, and really importantly from GUTS, Fighting Bowel Cancer Charity, who've been very generous in granting us a relatively large sum of money to help get this project off the ground. And without that, I think, well, we'd probably be a few steps further behind than we are at the moment.
GUTS also supports the hospital itself and helps with the acquisition of important clinical equipment that sometimes is more above and beyond what the NHS would normally provide. The Royal Surrey County Hospital was very fortunate to have a new endoscopy department built in the past 10 years, and GUTS was very proud to have fitted out one of the screening rooms with all the equipment that was required for modern day screening for colorectal cancer. Colorectal cancer is one of the big 4 cancers that affect the population here in the UK. Fortunately, there is an excellent screening program which is allowing us to detect cancer in patients at a much earlier stage, and often at a stage before it's become a cancer, when it's still just a polyp in the bowel.
I became a trustee of GUTS about 2 years ago when my wife showed me a GUTS magazine which asked if anybody wished to be considered to join the group of trustees. My interest in relation to bowel cancer was that I had a near miss myself, but that my wife had had bowel problems, but through that had had ovarian cancer diagnosed. And I was very grateful to, in particular, Ian Jordan, who had been her bowel surgeon, who had gone beyond what he needed to, and coincidentally found that she was suffering from ovarian cancer. Had he not done that, then she might well have been too late for surgery. As it is, 2.5 years later, she is still with us and in relatively good health. And so I'm personally very grateful to Ian Jordan, and he's also done some work on me. I'm in excellent condition thanks to that. But you will see that there is a degree of gratitude, and if I can help his charitable works, the charity of which he's chairman anyway, I'm delighted.
First of all, we had to get the equipment, which was the colonoscope and things like that. But there was also a test, and the test has always been, which is always said nicely, you can do it in the comfort of your own home. But of course, it's actually looking for blood in the stool. And the original test we had literally was so old that it wasn't even developed in the 1900s. It was actually developed in the 1800s. And we've only just now got, there's a test called the FIT test, which has just come on stream, and that is accurate because it's for human blood as opposed to any other sort of blood. So we had that test, and we provided the screening. Initially, we provided for screening for people who had a family history, who knew that they had a problem. And it's always been sad that, you know, people who know that other members of the family have had bowel cancer couldn't do anything about it. And that was really a large thing that Guts did, which was the Guts Family Cancer Clinic. But it relieved a lot of people, and it has found people very early. And going back to what I said originally, the earlier you detect it, the more likely you are to be able to cure it.
My mother, back in 1996, had bowel cancer at the age of, she was 68 at the time. I never even knew that you could get bowel cancer. It was all very alien to us. She was operated on by Professor Christopher Marks. She survived her cancer. She's now 95, coming up 96, which is incredible. So it was about 6 months after her surgery that I was going to the library and trying to find out everything I could about bowel cancer. And I saw an article in the paper written by Pat Crew, who was the fundraiser of Guts at the time. I believe that was the very first fundraiser that they actually paid. Before that, it was Professor Marks and Sal, his wife. And she needed some printing to be done. And I was about this charity called Guildford Undetected Tumour Screening. My husband had a printing company, so I found myself phoning her and offering our services. And the next thing, I was on a committee, and I joined the Guts committee with another, it was 10 of us, I think, at the time, lovely ladies. And we started fundraising. That was before the government funded testing, so obviously Pat always told us every pound that we raised would buy a test kit. We had great fun with the fundraising. And my two daughters were very young at the time. We used to do afternoon teas, we did raft races, my son took part in the lifter bike rides. We had a wonderful time fundraising. And I continued to raise money for Guts. Since then, I've been an avid supporter. 3 years ago, I also got bowel cancer. So everything that I'd learned from being connected with Guts, it came in very handy. Very different to my mother's time. You know, we've now gone on to, I had keyhole surgery, detected early and picked up at screening. So very blessed, very lucky. And I just want to share my story with everybody, telling people to be very aware of their bowels and also about Guts being an incredible charity to be involved with.
For a long time we've had things like, we had an antiques fair, we had collections in the town, and I always used to say it was terrible because I'd be standing in a queue collecting money for Guts, and then there'd be a queue of my outpatients, and I was actually conducting an outpatients in Guildford. But you know, one knows people and we get to know it, and the great thing has been the local support for Guts throughout its whole time.
I first came to the Royal Surrey County Hospital when I was a junior doctor, an SHO, and worked for Professor Marks in the Department of Colorectal Surgery. While I was here, I had the opportunity to get involved in some of the fundraising events, which were great fun, and this inspired me to, when I came back as a consultant some years later, to join the trustees of Guts.
I'm fundraising for Guts at the moment. I'm doing a virtual Route 66 challenge, which is cycling and walking 2,278 miles. I got to know about Guts through visiting Royal Surrey Hospital with my partner Tom, who's been having cancer treatment. We are, at the moment, he's doing it with me a lot of the miles, but obviously gets tired due to chemotherapy and treatment. He is my motivation, and due to the fabulous care of Royal Surrey and Mr. Scala and team there, we wanted to do something just to say thank you for all the amazing treatment that we've had.
So there are some exciting new developments at the Royal Surrey. Where more and more the hospital is becoming a hub for the management of all cancer groups, including colorectal cancer. We are expecting there will be a new surgical innovation centre built here within the next 5 years, and Guts will be a part of the fundraising programme which we hope will allow the centre to have some state-of-the-art teaching and research facilities.